You can't do that, you're gonna hurt you, break your fingers.
I promise you this not working the other way around. If the dude was doing the pranks on the woman, the pages probably wouldn't be as successful. That prank was trash, if we being honest. But it's just the simple fact that he went along with it. That's what's most important to the women that's viewing it. He supports her. He doesn't, you know, put her down or call her out. He lets her do her little bullshit. That's what women care about, man.
Set your alarm, earns you hungry.
Want to see the cringiest, most cuddly thing ever? This is called a love surge. And we do this when one of us has like so much love in our limbs that we can't contain it and feel like we're gonna explode. So Sean is having a love surge right now, and he's gonna wrap around me and shake with the electricity of love until I catch it too and start shaking, and then you explode with a love surge.
One thing I can appreciate about that clip is the self-awareness, because I'm glad she acknowledged that that shit was corny as hell. But believe it or not, as corny as it may be, there's millions of people out there who are tuning in for this type of content. The most obviously staged, performative, corny content. I mean, some of this stuff will even give romantic novels a run for their money. And I think the most insane part about this whole thing is that people actually believe clips like this.
And then we were in the car and he was like, okay, well, not this upcoming weekend, but next weekend. So we set a day for 2 weekends, 2 weeks in advance. What he did, right?
Least obvious.
Yeah, because what the hell was she talking about? And who cares, bruh? He didn't even care. He just there existing. You know what I'm saying?
Engagement farming, by the way. Like, let's be honest, bro knows that the women in the comments are gonna be like, oh my god, girl, he's so in love with you. If he doesn't look at me like that, I don't want it. And I'm not even exaggerating either. That's literally how.
Hey, yo, why are girls like that, bruh? You know what, man? This is why people make money off of women. Cause we can predict, like, how y'all will respond to certain things. Like, we know if we engage certain emotions, it causes y'all to react and respond a certain way. So if I engage positive emotions, I get positive things back from you. And that works really well if I'm trying to sell you something. If I'm trying to sell you a product or a service, right? And the emotions don't even have to be positive. They can be negative emotions. Just emotions that move you to do something. It's a call to action, bro. I'm gonna get you so worked up emotionally, it's gonna make you wanna do something. It's gonna make you wanna buy something. It's gonna make you wanna spend something. Like, come on, bro.
A lot of their comment sections look, yo, bro, record me looking at her like I'm really in love and you know, I'm so infatuated with her. I low-key wouldn't be surprised if he literally gave the phone to the camera person and told him, yeah, get me looking at her while she's talking like I'm so in love with her, you know, like, she's got me in this trance. And just look at all the women in the comments falling for this hook, line, and sinker. Girl, whatever you said, he did.
But that's only because they probably find him attractive too. If he was ugly, I don't know. Would they still have all these type of comments?
I hear it. He got 20 birds flying around his head. So this is love. I need a man that looks at me like this. See? They actually...
And then too, girls will say stuff like this. I need a man that looks at me like this. And then get one and don't know what to do with him. Fumble.
Genuinely believe this, bro. That's all I want. The love in his eyes for you. And you know, putting aside the fact that they obviously know that the camera's recording, I might actually believe this once or twice. But when your whole page is filled with content that looks like a scene that's straight out of a romantic novel, I'm sorry, I'm not falling for that. And you know, if this was one of those things like WWE where everybody knows it's fake, but it's entertaining and there's like unexpected outcomes sometimes, and you know, it's planned really well so it's enjoyable, I totally understand. But no, there's people who fall for this type of content hook, line, and sinker. That's part of the reason why these couple pages are so popular. When it comes to social media, there's obviously a plethora of different types of content. You got the gaming content, you got the gooner content, you got the family channels, you got the comedic content, and then of course you have the couples content. These couples who basically record their day-to-day lives and showcase how much they care about each other, all the things they do for one another, how deeply in love and infatuated they are with one another. Some popular white couples include Megan and Jack, Austin and Lexi, Sam and...
But I think the most popular ones are the ones where the man shows the woman love more than the woman shows the man love. I think those are the ones that the women like the most. I could be wrong, but if we paying attention to all the clips that we've seen so far, it was couples channels where the man showed how infatuated he is with his woman. Does it work the other way around? When a woman shows how infatuated she is with her man?
Monica. And then on the black side of couples content, we got De'Ara and Ken, Chris and Queen, Neek and King, Desmond and Christy. Mind you, none of them are still together to this day. And it's crazy because there's a huge portion of these people's fans who actually are surprised that they're no longer together. They're actually surprised that the fake perfect couple persona that they portray online isn't real. And I don't know if it's because their avid viewers live vicariously through them. Like, they genuinely delude themselves into believing that whatever they see on camera is truly how that relationship functions. But the thing is, one of these couples will break up and you'll have people in the comments talking about, oh, I don't believe in love anymore. I lost all hope in love. As if they think that real relationships are like this melodramatic act that they're seeing on their screens. Brief intermission, y'all. I'm here with an opportunity for y'all to make money. And I think the most recent and most fitting example of what I'm talking about is Christy and Desmond, the huge internet couple who recently broke up. And honestly, after seeing clips like this, I don't even know why people are surprised that they broke up. I could have seen that shit coming from like 10 miles away.
Christy. Christy. Christy, are those tongs?
I'm sorry, but at some point that had to have gotten exhausting. Because imagine every single day for years on end, over and over again, you're getting hit with similar pranks and you gotta walk into a room or walk into your car and act like you don't see the camera that's low-key right in front of your face. You gotta pretend like you're not expecting the prank that your partner does about the same time every single week. And on top of that, you gotta act like the joke that was said or made or the prank that was done on you is still as entertaining or funny as the first time it was done. I'm sorry, but unless you're some sort of A-tier trained actor, I don't think a normal person can keep this act up indefinitely. But all that aside, I genuinely do feel like you have to have a certain level of delusion to actually be entertained and believe this level of acting.
Hey babe, are you coming out here? Okay, let's see how long I can keep my hand here while the window goes up.
You can't do that, you're gonna hurt you, break your fingers.
Okay, so dude walks into the garage. She literally
I promise you this not working the other way around. If the dude was doing the pranks on the woman, the pages probably wouldn't be as successful. Not unless they was like really funny or really good. Like that prank was so like, that prank was trash, if we being honest. But it's just the simple fact that he went along with it. That's what's most important to the women that's viewing it. He supports her. He doesn't, you know, put her down or call her out. He lets her do her little bullshit. That's what women care about, man.
Is exactly what she's gonna do, which, keep in mind, it sounds absolutely dangerous. So if he wanted to prevent it, he would have prevented it right there. He then proceeds to let her do it, but it seems like it failed the first time because the car seems to have some sort of safety feature that prevents her hand from being stuck. Whole time dude is still standing there, by the way, letting her proceed. And then he goes on to say, you can't do that, you gonna break your finger. And I think like he went off script there and he had to get back on track. The scene switched.
And what make it even more trash is they could have edited out the part where it failed and kept the part where it actually worked. But they didn't even do that. They didn't even do that, bro. They kept the whole shit
to the camera that's behind him, and he low-key tilts his head, but not all the way so he doesn't make eye contact with the camera. And then he has to do the same, oh no, type of reaction when her fingers apparently get chopped off. Like, bro, this is WWE level acting right here. And there's more.
What is wrong? You need to take off the scales!
When will this stop? Was he trying to send us subliminal messages? And it's crazy because at some point it became so apparent to see the point where he became completely fed up with the process of making content with his wife. I ain't gonna lie, dude was looking like he couldn't stand her ass. And the thing is, his little default laugh started becoming harder and harder to watch. Like, this dude will go from being dead serious to hysterically laughing with no in between. And for avid laughers like myself, you know that when you laugh, there's low-key a buildup. At first the joke sets in, you know, your brain is processing it, and then you giggle a little bit, and then you start laughing, and then there's like the peak of the laughter where like the joke set in and like.
I never heard nobody break down laughing like this before.
completely internalize it, and then you slowly like taper off. You don't go 0 to 100 like this. You see how that low-key looks crazy? And see, there's this thing that I think that people who are chronically online tend to suffer from, and it's something called object permanence. And just to explain object permanence a little bit, it's something that babies have where if they don't see an object or a person, they think it doesn't exist. That's why babies find things like peekaboo so entertaining or sometimes shocking, because you're literally disappearing and then reappearing. But the point I'm trying to make here is that these adults suffer from the same thing. They think because they don't see these couples arguing that their arguments don't exist. They think that since every time they see them, they're portraying this perfect relationship, that's how their whole relationship is. But in all honesty, if more of these internet couples were transparent, this is some of the things you would see.
Babe, don't touch me in places when I'm recording. Babe. Can't even use it because that's weird, babe. We cater to families.
And I think another thing that people need to acknowledge.
Y'all already know what I got to say about this, man. You know what I'm saying? Look, bruh.
Acknowledges that at some point these couple pages don't just become about the relationship. Sure, they might start that way, but at some point it becomes a business. Because when you include the views, the sponsorships, and all the above, these couple pages can easily be bringing in millions. So I definitely feel like there gets to a point in the relationship where there's a crossroad. Do we record every second of our day and make content out of it so we can make this money? Or do we try to preserve our relationship and keep it authentic? And of course, there's probably a balance between the two, but I can only imagine it being very difficult to try to maintain that balance. Especially as they gain popularity and more opportunities start to present themselves. Like, I can't imagine trying to have an intimate moment with my girl and then like there's a camera right there and maybe we didn't do something right or it didn't turn out as well as it could have, so we gotta rerun it. Or maybe there wasn't even a camera involved to begin with, but we reenact it so we can get it on camera. And then imagine having to do multiple takes. Those relationships are probably extremely stressful. And I think the archetype of internet relationship that I hate the most is the interracial couple. Whether it's a black man with a non-black woman, where you have a bunch of weird black men in the comments talking about, yeah, if it's not snowing, I'm not going, or go where you're loved. Or the other side.
Yeah, that is weird. That is weird.
A black woman and then a non-black man. And then you have black women in the comments who are congratulating her, praising her for not being.
Yeah, no, I won't go need to say nothing about it, but since he brought it up, bro, a lot of these beautiful black women, right? Very beautiful. They can't wait to get on camera and show off their white man, bro. But do you think they'll do the same thing for their black man without making him look like a fucking idiot or a fool or a simp or a tool? Bro, the white man didn't have to get up there and do a dumbass fake laugh or go along with her bullshit. He was in there grabbing her by the, doing what a man's supposed to do with his woman, right? But she still posted it, though. She still posted it. Like, cause she still wanted the world to see she got her white man. Like, come on, bro. I was gonna leave it alone, but he brought it up.
The black man. I think that's very weird behavior. We've already had a content creator get exposed for playing into this harmful narrative. This content creator's whole spiel was that she was a single mother of 2, and then this white man came and married her and basically acted like her savior. And then she would later on expose that she was basically funding the whole relationship, paying for everything.
Deposit on our house. Let's not pretend that I'm not the one that paid for the Range Rover. Let's not pretend that I'm the one that paid for this whole fucking life that we live. Let's not pretend that. Let's not pretend.
And hey, man, if she's bred it up and she chooses to be in a relationship with him, it's not crazy that she's paying for stuff. But see, that whole relationship got really weird when he did this. Reminder to take care of your families or men like us will. And then he proceeds to show a bunch of white men. Oh, brother. Way to feed into harmful stereotypes. And I think the only other internet archetype that
Ain't no way if I had kids, I'm letting him take no picture like that with no... Look, bruh. At a certain point, the shit get disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? I'm not against interracial love. I'm not against it, bro. But I'm against the performance. I'm against the nonsense. You know what I'm saying? If it's not genuine, that's what I don't fuck with. If it's not genuine. Like, come on, bro. I could easily make any of these the thumbnail and people would click on it. You know why? Because it engages an emotion. Whatever emotion that is for you, it would engage it. All right, look.
Take care of your families or men like us.
If I made this the thumbnail, a lot of people would click on it, bro. You see a white man holding 2 black babies.
And then he proceeds to...
You see a white man with a black kid hugged up on him? Like, where his daddy at? What's the story behind this? Let me click on it.
A bunch of white men. Oh.
You see a white man with a little black girl? Like, come on, bruh. And he got a fade, too. And he got a little swag, got the J's on. Like, come on, bruh. Women would click on this, bro. Because it engaged in emotion.
Brother. Way to feed into harm.
And this one right here. This one right here, bro. This the shit right here. Like, if this was my son and I seen this picture, I'd be super pissed, bro. I'm like, you let my son participate in this BS, bro.
Stereotypes. And I think the only other internet archetype that might be just as bad is the pandering boyfriend or husband archetype. These relationship pages where the man will basically act holier than thou, pander up and down to women, and set some of the most unrealistic standards for the regular average man. Dude will post stuff like this and women will eat it up.
100,000. Say I love you. Another 100,000 because I appreciate your loyalty. Another 100,000 because you're an excellent mother. Oh. And 50,000 just in case you want to splurge on me or something. I love you from the bottom of your feet.
That's $350,000.
To the top of your head.
And the thing is, a lot of times this type of content is extremely disingenuous and extremely disrespectful to regular hard-working men. Because no, your average man isn't gonna have hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars in the bank to give away to their significant other. That is by no means realistic. But the men in these internet relationships will try to make it seem like that's the norm, that's the standard. And they largely do this because they know that women will bite. It'll get the views.
But look, bro, as a grown man, we could sit here and watch it and know that this is some internet stuff. We don't internalize it. We don't set that as the standard of expectations. We could look at it for what it is and maybe get inspired from it, maybe. But more than likely, we just look at it as content. You know what I'm saying? Move on to the next thing. A lot of women will look at that and think that's what reality is supposed to be. And that's what I be saying, bro. It would not work the other way around. If this was the other way around, right, and she was giving him hundreds of thousands of dollars, do you think the women will rock with that? It's the same exact dynamic, right? They got a kid together. They got all this success together. Only difference is she's handing him stacks of cash. Do you think women would absorb that content the same way? Support it the same way? Look, bro.
No, your average man isn't gonna have hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars in the bank to give away to their significant other. That is by no means realistic. But the men in these internet relationships will try to make it seem like that's the norm, that's the standard. And they largely do this because they know that women will bite. It'll get the views. Women will be in the comments like, yes, that's a real man right there. When I would argue that the man that's working his ass off to provide for his family is just as much of a man, if not more. But with that being said though, that's really my biggest qualms with these internet couples, these internet relationships. If you made it this far, I appreciate you for watching. I officially start streaming on Twitch this week, and
you see what y'all talking about in the comments, man. Sorry, bro, I'm not watching the video after that first clip. I don't think I can handle it. I don't even remember what the first clip was. What was the first clip? Oh, yeah. Alright. W new setup on. Dude is 18, gang. Oh, he 18? I don't know. I ain't know bro was 18. This thing getting out of hand, though. But look, man. Y'all like the video. L-I-K-E, like the video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Y'all be safe. I'm out. Bruh, you recording?
There's some real shit going on outside. And we in here talking about bullshit.